Good morning, it's Norma Cowie. It is actually Friday. Yes, I somehow was unable to get my live streaming up on Wednesday. And then I had company from out of town yesterday that took up the whole day. So on Wednesday, I was absolutely a mess because I couldn't figure out what was going on. It just would not go into streaming. So that's it. But so I thought today what I would do was go over and take continue. Oh, it's wrong pack. To take a look at the completion of the wands. So this is number 4, I believe. Yeah, number 4 lots. Now we were talking about thought before. How we have a thought, we contemplate a thought, we project the thought. That's when we do something. And then we reap the rewards of the thought. And then, of course, the other symbols that follow show all the things that go, you could say, wrong with your thinking. But then we come to what we call the court cards. Page, Knight, Queen, and King for each suit that we have within the wand. So we're going to go through those because they're very, very important. This is the page. Now take a look at a couple of things I want to point out. On his little cloak, not his cloak, his tunic, sorry. He has what we call salamanders, which is the element of the fire, which relates to the wand symbology. There's a lot on his tunic that don't have what we call, hang on a minute, my hands. This is his tail. This is his mouth. This means the energy is under control, but there's a lot of them on his tunic that are open. So he doesn't really have control of his thinking, of his thoughts. The other suggestion is the little red feather in his hat. We will talk a little bit more about that in the night. But it's like the desert, and here's his idea. Now, look how he's looking at his wand. We've had some symbols in just the regular thing, but this is an attitude. This is something you will do more than once or twice or 3 times, maybe 100 times a day. It could be, who knows, a lot. It's when we have an attitude like this, when we get absorbed in a thought and we think and we think and we think and we think, and that's all we do. So, and that's why he's not seeing what's down here. He's not seeing anywhere. He's only seeing what's at the top of his idea, his wand. You're really, really caught in. And and when we're looking at attitudes, they're habits. So we say, oh, this is your attitude to this. But this is your habit. So it's your habit of thinking. This is what you're doing. This is where you're going. This is how it looks. Now, from the Knight, we go into the action symbols of the Knight. There's lots I like about this Knight. I don't ride horses, but I've been around horses. Just don't ride them. I've never had that opportunity. Now, coming from New Zealand, some of my family was involved in racehorses. I was left once when I was about 15 holding a racehorse. They're big and they're strong. And it was like, my brother-in-law apologized to me when he came back because I was standing there like freaking out. What am I supposed to do with this, like holding the reins? Nobody around. Well, this guy's got his reins well under control, if you know anything about horse riding. And he's gearing the horse up ready to go. Now, again, if you look at the tunic, remember in the page, not all the salamanders were together. Here you've got more of them together. Plus he's got iron on his legs for the fight of what we call the fight of life. And his horse is ready to go. So he's got his wand really clearly in front of him. He is committed to whatever it is he's going to go do. So this is a doing symbol, not just a contemplating symbol. This is putting it into action. Very, very important. When you want to achieve something, you've got to do the action to follow it. You've got to plan out. I unexpectedly had company yesterday. I kind of knew they were coming around to visit soon, but anyway, came in. I was beginning to get some things done that I needed to do. And so, yeah, I couldn't go full ahead for sure, like the Knights, but you have to adjust. And we'll talk about that in the Queen. So it's about life. Moving ahead, you've got your goal. Remember, the wand is your thinking. So there's your goal. This is where I'm going. This is the attitude that says, okay, we're going we're going ahead. And now we're going to look at the queen. I have to say, if I relate to any one of these, this is the symbol that I relate to. The thing with this symbol is very interesting. Still dealing with wands, still dealing with thinking, but there's some significant things. First of all, the black cat. The black cat has been known for a long time of danger, emotionality, getting sidetracked. This is a symbol about being sidetracked. In other words, you want to go to the left and you end up going to the right or whatever. You just, something else comes along. Oh, that's fascinating. Let me do that. You don't always stay the course. Now, the other second thing, look at the wand, her wand in her right hand. Right hand's pretty authority. You know, this is where we're heading. But it's not touching the ground. The cat's touching the ground, which we can't really see. It's on her pedestal. So she's not really super involved with what's going on in the reality world. Yeah. So as I said, I know a lot about this because I had lots of things offered to me, and every now and again I'd look at them or move off or on some tangent or other. The other element is this little cat. Now, I don't know. I'm going to try and put it as close as I can. I think they go around. I should go this way, maybe. Anyway, you'll figure it out. There's a little cat clasp. Again, the cat representing the negative element of the emotionality coming into your thinking. So the wand is being held in the right hand, moving ahead. Now, in her other hand, she has a sunflower. Full bloom. Now, they're big, beautiful flowers, powerful. Again, I've associated often sort of with Leo, the sun moving further ahead. And the cats also would relate a little bit to the sign Leo. She's got lions on the side of her throne. She's got lions in the back. There's any more of those? No, there's 2 lions, 2 sunflowers, and she's holding a sunflower. She's got 2 lions down here beside her throne. There's a lot of symbology about power. But what does she do? She hasn't got her wand on the ground, and she's looking off away from the wand. Oh, I really want to do this. But, that's fascinating over there. Let's go over here and do that. And that's why I say I understand this symbol, because I had to learn to be focused and move ahead rather than follow everything that looked exciting, because that's what the queen does. The key I gave to that symbol was getting sidetracked. Because when you really want to achieve something, you've got to be very focused and aware of the pitfalls and the pluses and the minuses and all that, and moving ahead. And then we go to the king. Now, everything the queen isn't, the king is. Maybe a little bit of prejudice about males and females, but that's all right. It's the way it goes. We learn from everything. Now, a couple of things to notice. Remember, in the queen, the wand was not on the ground. Look where the king goes. On the ground. Remember, we have a lot of cat symbology because with the lions, and we've got the big lions, and then we got the little cats, which is kind of, just a little aspect, emotional aspect mainly, actually. We also, just looking here, he's got a little salamander. That's what I was getting at. He has a little salamander down here. That's all. Just a little bit of the subconscious coming in. So he's really got this together where he's heading. He's a master of his thinking, of where his direction of where he's going. Not only is the wand in the right hand, it's touching the earth. His back, the back of his throne, he's got lions and he's got salamanders with their tails in the mouth. Now remember, that has come up in the night, and even in the page actually. They didn't have the tails in the mouth. They had. I think the page has hardly any. Night has a little more. Doesn't even show up in the queen because she's getting sidetracked onto all sorts of things. But he knows what he wants to do, where he wants to go, and how he's moving. and where the direction he's heading. I'm trying to think of his hands. His hands fine. Got a little crown. He is in command of the thinking. When we want to project a plan, our goals, the direction of where we want to head, we need to be like the king. The knight is good in the sense of putting action, because when you want something, you need some action. But the planning is what's important, and that's the king. The queen, honestly, I have to give her a lot of credit as a symbol, because I had to learn, stay focused, stay on task. Because there was always something. I was always being offered this or that or the other. It looked fun. Let's see, and I look, examine it, and then say no, because I knew the king was the key. The knight is very important. So what do we got here? If we remember when we looked at the first four in the wand symbols, if you've gone through them, you have an idea, you contemplate the idea, you project the idea. That's the doing, like the knight. And then you achieve. And then came all the confusion and everything else that can go on in your head. So that's really thinking and contemplating. This is the projecting of the ideas. This is the do not do this, if possible. And this says, go ahead. What I like when I'm doing readings and I people come up with the King of Wands as part of their reading, it really tells me they know what they want, and often they just need some encouragement to go for it. Well, I always look at the outcome. What's the outcome of what you're wanting to do, or however, but that's beside the point. I know when I see that King of Wands within their reading that they have the ability to progress in the direction of where they want to go. So that brings us through, and I'm sorry for the delay in between. I just couldn't get to it. I wasn't feeling very well. That's unfortunate. This is the unfortunate thing when my life is this health issues I seem to run into. But anyhow, I have been feeling much better the last few days. So what I want you to understand is that your thinking is the first thing. You've got to have your thoughts working. You've got to have your mind going in the direction. Yesterday, which wasn't yesterday, it was Wednesday, I was going to go back to basics on thought and feeling and how we need to work with those together. But the symbols that follow the deck, or in the deck, there's four majors, like this, the majors, the big ones, 22 of those, but there's four suits. The wands, to me, comes first. How you thinking? So then next time we're going to start looking at the feelings, what it says about the feelings, and you learn how we talk about getting sidetracked, how we get off kilter and everything else. So I trust I'll be back doing what'll be number 5, I guess, when we start into the cups. I'm just going to show you the beginning of the cups because it's my favorite symbol. And I'll explain to you why. People say, how can you have a favorite? I'm going to tell you a little story. I got a few minutes, I think. I want these to be short and sweet. But I was in Australia. There was a group of us terrorists doing workshops down there, and I was tagging along. Now, remember, I'm not traditionalist. I am my own style, my own way of looking, and everything else. So I stand out. I don't stand sort of with the major people that are terrorists out there. Mind you, I've been lucky, been invited to a number of conferences over the years with my ideas. So anyway, we're sitting on this table, and I'm on one end, and someone asked from the people that were there, do you have a favorite symbol? And our main leader of the group said, no, they're all good, and they all have significance. And then, of course, I spoke up and said, I have. Everybody turned and looked at all the other readers, looked at me. I said, oh, yeah, the Ace of Cups is my favorite. And I've always been my favorite. And they said, why? And I'll tell you next week. I'll tell you again here. It's talking about accepting the love source into your life. It's being connected to the bigger power. And if you don't have an access to that big power, life feels pretty hard sometimes. So next time we'll be looking at the first 4 symbols of the cups. Emotion. Anyway, bless you. I apologize again for Wednesday. I still to this moment don't know what happened, but it's a pleasure to be back on air. I tested this out today. I went, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? But I got through and I'm done. Thank you. See you. What day are we at? We're at Friday? Yep. So Sunday, I'll be here with a Sunday thought. Blessings to all of you. Bye.